Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram, brother. And for people who are just joining in, remember your children are going to be Hindu, so make use of this opportunity to learn and understand Hinduism, so that tomorrow, when your children do become Hindu, we can actually connect with them better. It's good for the world, it's good for the future. Everybody is going to be Hindu anyways. So, you know how it is, like, we all know, like, the future is electric cars, clean energy. And the faster you adapt to this whole thing, the future is electric cars, clean energy. And the faster you adapt to this whole thing, the ecosystem will be growing faster, and it's good for the environment. Same way, the faster we all, like, accept the idea of Hinduism and incorporate it into our lives, the faster the world goes into peace, and we can actually look forward to a good future. Goes into peace, and we can actually look forward to a good future. Ram Ram Muji, Ram Ram. So that's why Hinduism is the truth. Your children will be Hindu. It's going to happen. And right now, because it has started looking like that to a lot of people, we see a lot of strife in the world. People are trying really hard to fight it. The more you fight it, the more you will create damage in the short run, which is not good for anybody, right? So it's better to because that's the future. Like look at India right now. Like, two innocent Hindus were unalived for no reason. How sad is that? Ram Ram, Jarmika ji. How sad is that? Two absolutely innocent. How sad is that? Two absolutely innocent Hindus. Why? Because people did not like the fact that things are changing. They want to hold on to their zealot ideas of the world. If the consciousness is conscious, it's all good. If it can manifest, can we call it God? Why call it God at all? See, you have to make a clear distinction between what the zealot religions of the world call God and what we call consciousness. Consciousness does not have feelings. It does not have like and dislikes. It does not have the need to. It does not have the need to go out and give out a book that everybody has to blindly follow. It doesn't work like that. So why call it God at all? Because God is a zealot idea. It's a sky daddy who wants your undying obedience and subservience, which is a purely fictional character. It does not exist. So why use those words at all to begin with? Also, let me remind you, the people who have just joined in, your children are going to be Hindu. It's an absolutely promised future. It is going to happen anyways. And the fast. This is why everybody has to learn and understand what Hinduism is and start living that life, so that there is no damage done during the transition. Because Hinduism is about balance. It's about feminine and masculine pretty much acting together. For the last 2000 odd years, the feminine was pretty much pushed back, suppressed. It had to take a back seat. The masculine, barbaric religions of the world, they came and pretty much suppressed the feminine. That's why we have so much strife in the world. That's why we see all the wars and fighting and all. Like, imagine if Israel and Palestine were Hindu right now, they wouldn't be fighting. We would not be sitting in Palestine were Hindu right now. They wouldn't be fighting. We would not be sitting and crying for Palestine and crying for Israel. They're fighting because the Quran clearly says the Yahudi are the bad people and they're supposed to be eliminated. What are we supposed to do? They'll keep fighting. These kind of ideologies come from the suppression of the feminine. And the feminine is making a big comeback. And the more easier and the faster you get in line with it, it's actually good for the world, and there will be minimum damage done. Absolutely equally. Absolutely. Hello.
Hello.
Just I can't really hear you.
Can you hear me?
Is she speaking? Can you guys hear?
Huh?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, it was my problem. Good.
You know what's going on in the world?
It's all good. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, can you speak English? Please, English.
Bro, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, of course.
Go ahead, straight to your question.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you one question.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, do you know what is going on in the world?
A lot of things are going on in the world. Technology is advancing extremely fast right now. Something I look forward to. What else?
You have to think about the Palestine.
I mean, they're getting the results of the stupid shit they did. What are they supposed to do? Palestine and Israel would not be fighting today if they were Hindu. Extremely sad what is happening there. Do you have any questions about Hinduism?
Hinduism? You're from India, right?
I am Indian, yes.
Yes, bro.
Alhamdu Krishna, Alhamdu Krishna. Hello. Do you have any questions, bro? Speak.
This is ridiculous. What's going
Okay, yeah.
on?
Okay. I don't think I can explain to him how to talk in this language and stuff. It's kind of crazy. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
All good. How are you?
Good, good, good. I like Hinduism.
Okay, good for you. It is the
I think
future,
it's
bro.
a good religion.
It is the future.
I'm sorry?
It is the future. So, the better you like Hinduism, the better you can actually fall in line, so to speak.
I'm a Christian. I love Christianity. I think it's the best religion in the world. But I think Hinduism is good too as well. Like it's a good second religion.
Hinduism is not a religion, and religiosity and dogma is not something we follow behind.
So
That's
Hinduism
not.
is not a religion?
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's ancient sciences.
It's a science?
Yes, it's literally ancient sciences. Yes,
Oh, so it's a science. It's like kind of like biology?
sure, you can call it that. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Okay. So then, what? So then, Hare Krishna is the religion, correct?
Hare Krishna, the Vaishnavites, yes, that can be called a religion. Absolutely.
So Siddhartha is not Hinduism. It's something else.
Siddhartha was an absolutely Hindu person. Yes.
So what is Hinduism? What is it about? Like, what's the? I know some pieces about it, but not too much. What's the main ideology?
What is the main ideology of science? It's research and development. It's finding the answers. That is Hinduism.
Okay, so there's no book. So then there's no like church or something to like go to and a pastor. So how do you learn Hinduism? You go to school for it?
No, you learn Hinduism. You begin learning from scripture, but eventually it all becomes your experience. You have to start applying what you find in scripture to find more answers.
I thought
Like for
Hinduism
example,
is like you can't eat animals. You got to be like a vegetarian.
there is
Um,
nothing called you can't and you can. We don't have commandments.
okay,
So, like for example, modern science will tell you, smoking is bad for you, right?
right.
But it's not putting it as a commandment. It's telling you, okay, smoking can do this to you, so that's why it's bad for you. But people do it anyways. That's how
So you
Hinduism
have
works.
so it's like a choice. It tells you what to do. It's your choice to do it or not.
It does not even tell you it's a choice. It tells you if you do this, this will happen, and then you decide what you want to do with it. Hinduism doesn't care if it's a choice or not. It's just giving you knowledge, and you decide what to do with that knowledge.
So it's like a knowledge. It's a knowledge book.
Yeah, I told you it's science. That's literally what knowledge is.
So it's just basic common sense on how to live your life, basically in a peaceful way.
Not common sense. Like for example, would you call science as just common sense?
Science is science. It's the facts. It is what it
Hinduism is
is.
science, bro. Hinduism is science. It's not a religion. I told you.
So it's science.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I
Like
didn't know
if
that.
you
Like,
if you pick up any Hindu scripture, right, it does not make claims like I talk to God or an angel talk to me or something like that. It tells you exactly what kind of research they did, exactly what steps they took to arrive at those that knowledge, and
I
those
mean, I
steps
don't
are
know.
here for you
I
to
thought
pretty
I
much.
picked up a Hinduism book a long time ago, and it showed pictures of a cow. Like you can't kill it; it's sacred.
No,
Is
no, no,
that the
no.
same thing?
That was the Western interpretation of Hinduism, which is kind of nuts.
So that's a false one.
Yeah, majority of our scripture was translated by Christian missionaries, and they have
Hmm.
openly said, you know what, we are translating it so that we can get more souls for Christianity, and they messed up the whole thing.
Then how do I get the real Hinduism book?
Either you learn Sanskrit or you can read books by Swami Vivekananda. He was the first person to talk about Hinduism in English, so it's not completely messed up.
I mean, I read some stuff. I don't know if it's who's like Siddhartha born from an armpit or something. Is that
What?
Hinduism?
Siddhartha born from an armpit?
Something like that. I read. Is that true? Is that
No, no. I don't know where you read that. Everybody knows Siddhartha was born as a prince through the normal birth. It was not an armpit birth.
I guess the Western books change everything around.
Yeah, because they want to sell Christianity and Islam to you, right? So they will keep making a mess of ancient sciences. Like for
Got it.
example, why do you think we had the Dark Ages?
I'm sorry.
There was a period in history called the Dark Ages, right? Do you know
Like
this?
when people were cave people.
No, no, Dark Ages, Dark Ages.
What? I don't know that much. Is that like
The
caveman
Dark
time?
Ages was literally the advent of religion. When the religions of the world came in, they would go around persecuting the scientists. They would call them like witches, pagans,
Oh,
and
okay.
anybody who did not talk like the Bible wanted people to talk, they were going around persecuting everybody. And that was the Dark Ages, when science and knowledge took a backseat.
But most religion comes from the Middle East, if you think about it. I mean,
Exactly, because this is Middle East ideology, Middle Eastern commandments.
Christianity comes from the Middle East,
Yeah.
Islam,
Like for example,
Hinduism,
I'll give you an example, right? No, Hinduism does not come from the Middle East, and
or
it's not a
like
religion.
Asia, like in that area. You know what I
Hinduism
mean?
is not a religion, bro. It does not come from the Middle East. The
Or
idea
it's
of,
a science. It's not a religion.
in
Got it.
fact, if you look at Hindu scripture, it tells you blind faith, dogma, religiosity. These are not even advisable. The Hindu scriptures tell you not to be dogmatic. It tells you not to have blind faith. It tells you not to be religious. It tells you to be always critically thinking, to always take data, use it in your life, apply it, and see if it works for you. If the knowledge that is given to you does not work for you, you're supposed to reject it. The Hindu scriptures talk like this. Can you imagine this?
Then how can you find the real one where it's not all manipulated and like fake? Like where can you find the real
I told
Hinduism
you,
book?
start with reading Swami Vivekananda's books. I'll write
What
down the
is it
name of the
called?
book. I'll write the name of the book in the comment section. Give me one second. You can start here, but
The
if you,
real
I
one, the
would,
real one, not like the fake books. So that
yeah, yeah, just start here. Start this, read this book. I don't think anybody mistranslated this
Raja
one.
Yoga Swami.
Yeah, by Swami Vivekananda. That is the name of the author.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Besides Hinduism, what other religions do you recommend or
No
science?
religion. All religions are fake, man-made ideologies created to control people. There is
So
no
they're all
truth in any.
fake.
Everybody, all religions, yes,
It's all fake and made up by some people
yes, to control other people. It's
to
they are
control
political.
society,
Yeah, like for example, why would
like
you
the
have an
Roman
idea?
Empire, Islamic Empire. They just brainwash people so they all think alike and work alike.
You said it yourself, right? All the religion comes from the Middle East. The Middle East has a power grabbing ideology over there. You
Yeah,
had to take over lands. You have to take over minds. So how do you? Okay, you can take over land with a sword, but how do you take over minds? That's where religion comes in.
I thought it was created. I thought religion was created by empires so that everyone can think the same and work the same and just move the same. You know what I mean?
That's why you conquer. That's why you conquer a different civilization, right? You want to make them like you.
Yeah.
You can't just make people physically, like for example, right, if I conquer a civilization through sword, through my might, you know what, maybe 2 3 generations down the line they will revolt, they will fight back, they'll be like,
Right.
we want freedom. But if I conquer their mind, if I brainwash them into thinking this religion is true, that's it. They're my slaves forever. That's how religion came to be.
That's true. Well, it was good talking to you, man. Thank you so much for your wisdom. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
No problem. No problem. I would recommend you to look at that book. Yeah.
I will. Thank you so much.
You too. Yeah.
Hello, brother.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, brother, could you please explain me what's the difference between Hinduism and Sanatana in brief, please?
Same thing.
Then why would there was nothing like Hinduism in like holy books and anything over there? Sanatan was there, but the Hinduism word was not there. So could you please
Is your
explain
real
me
name
that thing?
Sultan Harman?
Mm-hmm.
Your real official name on the passport is Sultan Harman?
No, it's not.
It's not, right? It's something else, right?
Yeah, that's my ID.
Exactly. So, but if I say Sultan Harman, everybody knows it's you, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, if I call you your real name, or if I call you Sultan Harman, everybody knows it's I'm talking about you.
No. Tell me. See. Don't argue. Just let me
I'm
know
not
the
arguing,
difference
brother.
between
I'm asking a question. Say yes or
Sanatana
no.
and Hinduism. Please explain me that thing. That's it. Okay.
Abhay, I did
Don't talk
explain to
about
you.
me here.
Jandulal,
Talk
I
about
did explain
your
to you.
like
So, your name
you.
is Sultan Harman. If I look at your passport, your name will be Sultan Harman in your passport.
No, it's not right. It's
And
my
it
ID.
has Sultan underscore Harman underscore 90 in your passport.
Tell me the difference between Sanatana and Hinduism, please.
So, okay, tell me the difference between Sultan underscore Harman underscore 90 and your real name. What is the difference between
Sultan
that?
is my town. Harman is my name. That's it. Okay.
No, but your passport has Sultan underscore Harman underscore
No,
90?
don't
No,
ask
right?
my personal thing, okay? Just
It's
tell
not a
me
personal
about
thing.
the difference between
When I say,
Hinduism and Sanatan.
Are Jhandulal, if you do not understand such a basic
ਉਹ
comparison,
ਭੈਣ
how can I
ਚੋਦਾ
explain
ਤੈਨੂੰ
it to
ਸਮਝ
you?
ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਲੰਨਾ
Chal be, katoye, bak,
ਭੈਣ
gandua sala. Dude, Bishnoi is searching you guys. Bishnoi ढूंढ रहा तेरे को खालिस्तानी कुत्ता. Yeah, what's up?
Hey. So, I was wondering maybe if we can talk a little bit more about the divine feminine energy and how you mentioned that, the awful things that happened and that people don't like that the world is changing. So, what way do you think or see the world changing shape?
See, what femininity ensures is creative liberty. Like for example, if you look at the buildings, for example, right? They have a common structure. They are all built to last. They are, in fact, I would even call them kind of oppressive looking, right? And once you enter inside the building, yes, people do all kinds of creativity, and they build beautiful interiors. But overall, the buildings from outside, they're big rigid structures, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the main, like, you can see clearly aesthetically the feminine has taken a back seat, because femininity is about creativity. It's about like bending and living in harmony with reality, not trying to make everything the way I want it to be. So for the last 2000 years, we pretty much, that's one of the reasons why we have so much pollution in the world, because the masculine wants to pretty much rearrange everything to fit us. It wants to level entire natural regions to make it plain smooth so that we can live there. But feminine
Right.
energy wants to live in harmony
Yeah. Like
and
take
express
over
everything creatively.
instead
So
of balance, yeah?
yes. So for the last 2000 years, like I said, because of the advent of these masculine religions,
Mm-hmm.
femininity had to take a back seat. It was suppressed, I would say. In fact, if you look at the religions and the garb that is ascribed to the women in the religions, you can clearly see this, right? They did not just suppress the feminine, they actually suppressed the women directly because of this. But now it's making a comeback. Now the big okay, you know what the main reason is technology itself, because we can communicate way better right now, and we can share ideas way better. The feminine energies are making a comeback. It doesn't want to be suppressed anymore.
Yeah.
That's why, again, like I said, you can just clearly look at architecture. What architecture looked like, say, 200-300 years ago compared to what it is now. You can clearly see, like it's not oppressive architecture anymore. We are doing creative stuff now. In fact,
So
you'll see more and more eco kind of a living where architecture melts in with the environment. I'm just giving an example. Don't hold on to the architecture example.
yeah, no, I'm just thinking. So you think that balance and changes are happening because more conversation is happening, so more voices are being heard and represented, and more community, building from the ground, or like in what other types of ways?
That absolutely true, yes. But also, say up until 100 years ago, right? The male's brawn was very important. He would go out, survive in the world, bring the money back home, and then the woman got to do whatever she wanted, right? But right now, women go out and work. Technology it enabled us, right? Like 100 years ago, a man had to be physically strong, go out and do menial labor or some other kind of stuff. In fact, even surviving in the corporate environment was very hard for women because the ecosystem was structured like that. But over time, because of our more knowledge, more understanding, and more like for example, empathy is a very feminine attitude. Yeah,
Mhm.
because of empathy, now we want to include everybody, right? Including, now the masculine, the brawn has taken a backseat. You know what, brawn is important, I agree, but it's not everything. So brawn and brains are pretty much matching. Creativity is coming and having a say.
What do you think about the ego and like the difference between, I want to say like false feminine, almost the ego in women, which is actually like kind of, in my opinion, can be like a more masculine force, almost like because the feminine is getting more energy or whatever, and women are stepping up more, but it's almost like there's a risk, or can be, sorry, there's a car, can be like they're doing the same thing as the men. Who cares that you're a woman? You're doing the same thing, you're just only now a woman instead.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I can see this happening, but in the long run, things will alleviate. In the long run, because this is happening because the structures are still very masculine, right? Like when a woman enters a corporate office to do her job and like climb the
Still she has
corporate
to
ladder,
fight. Yeah.
the structure is still built by the masculine. So she has to adapt and like become masculine to fit there. But over time, we are seeing with the advent of this modern startup tech culture, you can see that the feminine is making changes again. Like let me make a very clear distinction between the feminine and the female. When I say the feminine, I'm not meaning the female. The suppression of the female is a result of the suppression of the feminine. You see what I mean? But it's all making a comeback, huge comeback. That's one of the reasons why like the West is, not just the West, the world is kind of confused. It doesn't know how to like hold itself. All the gender confusion, people don't know exactly how to conduct themselves and stuff like that. But you know what, we are very fast learning too. Very fast we are figuring out how to conduct ourselves. And the more Hinduism takes the picture and the more people understand these ancient technologies, like because Hinduism pretty much addresses every problem that we are going to have in the future. The more we understand it, the feminine will take a precedence again, and the masculine will take a little bit of a backseat for a while, and before elevating itself again. So yes, I look forward to the future. It's very bright. Do you have any further questions, Trula? Because this is a topic I can talk about endlessly. It doesn't end.
Well, I do
Do you
wonder.
have any further questions, Trula? Because
Yeah,
this
sorry,
is a
there's a
topic I
bad
can
echo. I
talk
might have
about
to come
endlessly.
and go back and come out.
I do wonder. Do you have any further questions, Trula? Because
Yeah, sorry, there's a bad
let me
echo. I
remove
might
you,
have
just
to
come
come.
right back. Or if you're going to take time, let me bring somebody else up. I wish I could explain what I'm trying to say better, because everything I mentioned are examples. They're not the real thing. Because to understand feminine, the feminine energies, you need to understand how life works. How life is basically a mix and match of the masculine and the feminine, the Ida and the Pingala, the sun and the moon. People by mistake they call it sin and good and evil, which is not correct. The world is not actually black and white. It's a different shades created by these two energies.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, so why do you think Hinduism is the truth? I don't see absolute any reason to believe in any of these things.
Which
There's
things?
naturalistic, huh?
Which things?
Well, the Hinduism creation story, it's all nonsense. There's no gods, there's nothing.
I know this. There is no God. Hinduism does not talk about any God.
So what do you believe yourself?
What do you believe yourself? What does that mean?
I'm saying, what do you believe yourself? Because you said Hinduism is the truth.
Yes, it
So,
is the truth. See, Hinduism,
so
first of all, is not a religion. People keep thinking it's a religion. There is a creation story and stuff like that. No, Hinduism
okay,
is
so
literally ancient sciences. It's not a religion. There is no belief system. It's actually a knowledge system.
so you believe in science?
Do you believe in science or do you know science? Do you understand the difference?
No, science is a fact.
Yes, you don't have to believe it. Same way, Hinduism is literally science. It's not a belief.
No, but like, what is your fundamental belief? Like, what do you believe that is the truth in Hinduism?
Bro, science. What is the fundamental belief in science? There's no belief in science. The moment
It's
you
a
believe, it's not
fact, it's a
science anymore.
method. Bro, science is a
Yes,
fact and a method that we can
that's
test and
literally what Hinduism
verify.
is, brother.
Okay, so what can we test in Hinduism that is true?
What can you test in Hinduism that is true? Hinduism is
Yeah.
science. So everything that you test in science, you're already doing Hinduism.
No, Hinduism isn't science. What can we test in Hinduism that's science?
You're literally asking what can I test in science that is science.
Why are you avoiding the question, bro?
I'm literally confronting the question head on. It is the opposite of avoiding it.
Nah, dude.
You are saying like what is like Hinduism is science.
No, it's not, bro. It's mythology. No, because Hinduism,
See,
it's
the problem,
a...
Aksura, like Ahura, whatever your name is, the problem is like 99% of the people who think they know Hinduism, they have read Western, misconstrued, mistranslated books about Hinduism. Have you actually
Wait,
picked up a Hindu scripture?
so Hinduism isn't a religion?
Pause. Have you actually picked up a Hindu scripture?
Yes, Brahma, Veda, like all of these gods.
What?
That's
Brahma Veda.
Hinduism.
What does that mean?
It's a god, like all these gods, Shiva.
Yeah, see, this is why you have no idea what Hinduism is. Just ask me question. Don't say,
Okay,
okay,
I'm gonna
this
ask
is
you a
what I know, and
question.
it's a waste of everybody's time. I have to like first break down your misconceptions and then teach you something. I have to like work around the whole thing. If you
So,
come very clean, saying, I don't know anything, let teach me, then I can teach something.
dude, so I'm gonna ask you this right here and right now. Do you believe Shiva is a real entity?
Do you know what Shiva is?
Yes, it's a god in Hinduism.
Can you quote me in scripture that says this?
The Vedas or whatever the texts say
Okay,
this.
full of the words that's in Vedas which says Krishna is Shiva is a god.
Well, I don't have the verses, so you should be doing the research yourself.
Okay, let me
I'm
make it
not
simple
the
for you. Can you
I'm
show
not
me
the
any
Hindu.
word from Hindu scripture that actually translates to the English word God?
Sir, you can do the research yourself. I'm not the Hindu.
Yeah, fuck off. You're not asking me plain questions. You are coming with assumptions. It's a waste of everybody's time.
Hello.
What's up? Hello.
Hello.
Hola.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. If I convert to Hinduism,
You converted to Hinduism.
if I convert to Hinduism,
No, no, don't, please don't.
let me ask a question.
No, no, no. I can tell by the way you're talking, you cannot be a Hindu. No, sorry.
Okay, if
Please
I
don't say it, brother.
come to Hinduism,
Hmm.
okay, which
Yeah.
caste I belong? I want to be a Brahmin.
You want to be a Brahmin?
Yeah.
Sure, become a scholar. You'll be a Brahmin.
How do I become Brahmin if I come to Hinduism?
By becoming a scholar, learn the scripture.
Can I become when I come to Hinduism? Can I which caste I belong to?
Abey Gadhe, what am I saying? Become a scholar, you'll be a Brahmin.
Brahmin. Okay, if some
What
Hinduism
does
is
Brahmin mean, bro? Do you know what Brahmin means?
Brahmin is what?
What does it mean?
Brahmin is higher caste in
According to
Hinduism.
which scripture? Show me from scripture. What is higher
Uh,
caste?
my friend Hindus tell
Oh,
me
you
that
have
he
a Hindu
from
friend. You haven't
Vedas.
actually read in scripture.
Vedas. He say for Vedas.
Okay, in Vedas, which verse? Show me that says Brahmin is highest caste.
No, I say my Hindu friend tell that.
So your Hindu friend told you that. You did not actually read any book.
Yeah. If someone can be a Brahmin, so if
Where does it say that, bro?
sutras,
Where does it say that?
so I can be a Brahmin or not?
What does Brahmin mean?
You tell me.
I told you already. You're not paying attention. I told you Brahmin means a scholar.
Okay,
Can you be a scholar? Of course, anybody
scholar.
can be a scholar.
Okay, can sutras can be scholars?
If they become scholars, they're not Shudras anymore, right?
So why people Brahmin didn't want sutras become a Brahmin?
Who told you this?
My friend.
So you have a friend who is the representative of Hinduism.
Yeah, they
Like, did you
are one
actually think,
that
you know what, this is such an ancient science, let me actually go read the books myself? No, I have a friend. That's how you learn things. What are you, Muslim or
they
Christian?
want
What, what are you, Muslim or
privilege.
Christian?
I'm a Muslim.
You're a Muslim, right? So do I
Yeah.
learn Islam from a friend, or do I read the Quran to learn Islam?
Read from Quran. Yeah, correct.
So what did you read about Hinduism?
Okay, but the Brahmin say they want that privilege. They want
Yeah, fuck off.
they
Go talk to your friend.
Hey.
Hello.
So I was going to ask, can you give examples of like maybe the differences between the role of divine masculine versus divine feminine, or together, or the synergy?
Like I'll have to go into a lot of examples, and it's not that simple either. There's no clear divine masculine, clear divine feminine, because they are intertwined. You know, look at the traditional way the human body is structured, right? The human body is like the male body is kind of stronger, and the feminine body is kind of slender, more curvy, which basically tells you that the male body is made to like do hard work. Like it will go out and like dig a big boulder in front of your home. And the feminine body, because the way it's structured, you can clearly see it's more creative. It will actually sculpt that boulder into a beautiful sculpture. So, what do you call it? Direct big action versus creative action. This is the very obvious way you can clearly see the masculine and the feminine, right? That's why the religions of the world, like when I said, they wanted to go out and capture. They did not know how to like run the country after they capture it, because creativity is absent. It's a masculine thing. But eventually they had to what do you call it? Just suppress everybody, because that's all they could do. It's literally like bringing a big boulder down. So now we have like complicated constitutions. We are running the country differently. There are amendments made everywhere, which means we now know how to actually do administration better. Instead of trying to make everybody like us, we are trying to make the world fit everybody. No matter what color, caste, creed, religion you are, we are trying to make the world that fits everybody, which is a very feminine thing. So the melding of both is basically the masculine and the feminine.
So, do you know much about the traditions of like native cultures from North America?
Not really, but whatever little I did see, it actually looks like Hinduism. Same thing.
Right. It's like they support nature mostly. So, right, that's how they kept everything in balance and in harmony because they learned from the earth first and they
Yeah.
supported that structure first, right? Like that was their quote unquote job as humans. And of course they had hunter gatherers and all the kind, but like it was to continue the balance that was like naturally occurring. And then the Crusades or whatever you want to call it came and decimated so many, either from germs or other barbaric things. So they also were, because they were peaceful, they did not respond in a way that was aggressive. And so they essentially got taken over. Even though when they came, they tried to share and also show the culture and show how to also take care of the land, right? That was their culture. So yeah, I think maybe we're coming back to it. There's a lot of prophecies from their side saying now the time that we're in is time for this, essentially the Caucasian race, hopefully to come into alignment, essentially, and that will help to move forward, whether it's humanity or something else. I don't know. They have prophecies from very far back in their lineage about this kind of thing, so it's interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got it. This is exactly what I was talking about. So yeah, technology has enabled us for now, and it will actually keep making it more easier for us. The man does not know how to go out and like win wars anymore, for us to survive. So yeah, feminine and the masculine can actually meld together. And guess what happens when the feminine, like for example, in the human system, right? Say you're a human being, and of course, in every human being, regardless of your gender, there are feminine and masculine aspects. So our job as a human being is to balance these two energies within ourselves. We call it the Shiva and the Shakti. So when within the human being we balance both of them together, enlightenment happens. Balance both of them together. Enlightenment happens as a side effect. And that enlightenment, if you want to call it Christ consciousness, sure, you can do that. Some people call it Krishna consciousness. So you become Christ-like or Krishna-like or whatever you want to call it. Once you balance these energies within yourself.
How do you know how to balance them, though?
Meditation is a good start to attempt to balance it. The more you take care of your emotions, the more you take care of your inner voice, and see the inner voice exists because it wants to be heard. The moment you start hearing it, it subsides. And the more you listen to it, the more it subsides, and eventually it becomes a complete calmness. And in that calmness, you find your true nature, yourself. And when you find that, you can call it enlightenment, because now I know who I am. Because till now I was listening to my subconscious continuously playing a dialogue for me, and once the subconscious subsides, then your real consciousness comes out, which, like I said, is Christ consciousness, if you want to call it that.
And it will just happen naturally.
It will not naturally. It will keep digging a bigger hole for itself. Naturally, like if you have a feeling of jealousy, if you don't confront it and actually solve it, the jealousy will grow into hate will grow into something
Crazy.
else, eventually go to war,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, crazy.
So naturally it won't happen, because nature naturally is designed to go out and flourish, and flourishing of your subconscious is not what you want your true self to come out. Again, meditation can solve these problems.
So you're just supposed to be, when you say pay attention, like, right? So if I was feeling jealous, for instance, which I don't normally, but I have experienced it. So I look at it, yeah, and be like, what is actually happening here, right? Like, why is this? You just give it more attention and that does it? Or like, is there something in meditation when you say meditation will fix it, I'm like, I'm not sure. Are you sure?
There are two ways to look at jealousy. Yeah. First way is to feel jealousy from within yourself and be, oh, I'm jealous, and I'm feeling it. At that point, you'll go out and burn the world. But
Right.
if you look at jealousy from the third person perspective, like when you watch a movie and you see the character
Right.
is being jealous right now, you find it
Right.
ridiculous, right? You're like, okay, if only you stop being jealous, you can actually live a good life. So when you look at yourself from that third person perspective, the moment you notice it, it dissipates. But if you live it, it will amplify. So it's
So
about
then it's like
noticing
you
it
just have
versus living
to
it.
remove yourself from the emotion, though? Because I feel like,
Yes.
how is that not repression, though?
No, it's not repression. Repression. I give you the example, right? When you're watching a movie, you're still involved. You want to know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
right? But when you see somebody acting stupid, when you see that guy going out and checking what is happening in the night, what sound he heard, you can
Crazy.
obviously tell this is a bad idea, right?
Yeah, you're
So
crazy.
when you look at your own self from that perspective, you have not given up your emotion. You just know how to act smarter. You know which is important, what is not important. Like for example, um, see jealousy. We obviously established, it's not going to be good for you, right? But say it's love for your child. In fact, when you watch this love for your child from the third person's perspective, it will grow. You'll be like, this is absolutely beautiful. It won't subside the way jealousy subsides. So that would be the little formula. That which grows with your attention, that is what is, if you want to call it good.
Well,
And
okay, but
that which
let's take a
subsides,
real life. Let's take
bad.
a real life example of this, because that's actually a big thing that is common, yeah, and many, especially in relationships. So many. This is a big problem. People are jealous, essentially, right? And so, if I'm in a relationship and I am getting jealous because my mate or whomever is, let's just not even say they're flirting or being bad. Let's just say they're talking to somebody and I'm just being crazy because I don't like my person giving attention that I want to somebody else, and so then I'm jealous, yeah? Like, but and so you're just be like, well, just don't be jealous.
No. In this particular instant, you're not being jealous. You're feeling cheated because a marriage or a partnership is a contract. You're like, you know what? I will stand up for you. You will stand up for me. But the moment you see, you know what, that emotion is leaking into somebody else who does not deserve it, that at that point you're being cheated. That's not jealousy at all.
Interesting. So so then how would you describe jealous specifically?
Jealousy is like, you don't feel worthy, and when somebody else, your mate is giving attention to somebody else who you might think is more worthy, deep down you are feeling insecure about it. That's where jealousy comes from. It comes from
Or
insecurity. A
I guess they
relationship
have a
should make
problem
you
too.
feel secure.
Yeah, that makes yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But like for instance, if I was talking to somebody and they're like, "Oh, I don't get jealous," and it's like they don't care who you talk to. You know what I mean? Or whoever you do whatever with, right? Because they just don't. For me, then that means that person
At this
doesn't
point,
care.
you are worrying about what other people think. The moment you start putting yourself into other people's shoes and deciding how they should behave, I don't think you will have a very good future there. Because
No,
people are
but
different.
when you're talking to somebody specifically, like aren't you engaging with them? So isn't it a corroborative thing?
No, but see, like the comment section says, maybe they
I'm
just
not
trust
reading
you too much.
something.
Like
Maybe.
Ree said in the comment, maybe they trust you too much. So it's not that they're not jealous. They trust you enough to know that, the point of jealousy doesn't exist here.
No, it was more about like openness. I don't know, the trust, maybe I don't know, for me that's
So
I don't
this
know.
little exercise, right? Everybody has to do it. We are talking very openly right now, like very shallow right now, because jealousy is not just jealousy. Jealousy is backed up by like maybe 20 other emotions. This is
Yeah.
why we get into relationship, completely understand the other person, so that we can give them the time and energy
Right.
to understand them, and they give you the time and energy to understand you.
Yeah. Right.
Otherwise, what's wrong with just going around sleeping with everybody you feel like? Why
Exactly.
go into a partnership? Why spend time? It's for this. So you can give each other time, understand each other really well, and eventually come to a place where, for me, like ideal relationship is when like you don't need to communicate at all. The other person already knows what you're thinking. So to come to that, there is a lot of hard work to be done, right? So much planning, programming, and eventual understanding to get to that point. That's what everybody should be aspiring to. Most people don't, which is why relationships end up sucking.
So you don't want to communicate at all because it becomes telepathic?
No, if you communicate too much, right, eventually it will become telepathic. Like for example, say both of you are watching a movie, yeah, and you have communicated with yourself so well in the past that you already know, okay, this particular scene will make my partner feel like this. So at that point, the partner does not have to come and tell you, I'm afraid or I'm angry or anything. You already know how he's going to react. That's what I mean. It's not
What if
telepathy
you
at
can
that
do
point.
that with many, many people? Like, what if you can just read people well?
That is also true. No, that is absolutely true. Some people can actually read people well, but you still give like that extra place for your partner. You know, like for example, a doctor can heal everybody well, but he still has a wife. He will give that extra special attention to his wife,
Yeah.
right? When she's sick.
Which is why you would be jealous if that person was not giving you extra special attention as well.
Yeah, yeah, I know. That is true. That is true. The person should give you extra special attention. Otherwise, what is the point of a partnership?
Truth, exactly. What is the point? Yeah. Okay, all right, that was fun. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
It stopped being a dialogue about Hinduism a while ago. I have questions for the host. Okay. After that, Ree, I think you are requesting.
Hello.
Hello. Are you ready to speak now? Because earlier you came up and you are not speaking.
Yeah. I hear you now.
Okay. What is your question?
Yeah. My question is, so why do you worship a lot of God?
There is no God there, and you don't
Eh,
worship anything.
I know a lot.
You know?
Shiva.
Which book did you read?
You worship Shiv. You worship Durga.
See, already you don't speak really well. On top of that, you speak over me. How will it work, brother?
Mm.
Okay, what is Shiva? What is Shiva?
Huh?
What is Shiva?
He's a man.
He's a man?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Hmm?
Where is he?
Well, he has a life, and he dead.
Okay, we are talking about Adi Yogi.
He
I'm
dead
saying,
like
what is Shiva? What
everyone.
is Shiva?
Hmm?
What is Shiva? Shiva, not Adi Yogi.
Shiva.
There was a man called Adi Yogi. He was also called Shiva, but Shiva doesn't mean the man. It means something else. What does it mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
So why did you call it a god then?
Hmm?
Okay, keep doing who to your wife. See, this guy obviously does not pay attention. So true love, this is the kind of people who end up in a bad relationship.
Hello,
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. I was just listening in on your conversation talking about, feminine and masculine energies, if
Uh-huh.
I'm correct or wrong.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, yes. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Just apologies in advance if I missed some things. I was brushing my teeth in between.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit late right now in New York. Anyways, I remember you saying something like, like how like males in general tend to be stronger physically and stuff like that. Like,
Tend to be. It is changing rapidly now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, lower body strength also kind of okay, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. I was just saying that I feel like this is also constrained to mammalian species because, in the insect species, it's kind of reversed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. There are insects who pretty much consume the male after copulating.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
And you know how bees literally
So this is why I
practically live
clearly
for the
made a
queen.
distinction
Yeah.
that the man and the woman that we see is a direct result of the masculine and the feminine over time. But obviously, there are women who are very strong too.
Yeah.
So it's different levels of masculinity and femininity within no matter what gender you are.
Okay. All
So when
right.
you balance it, when you balance your masculine and the feminine in different
Yeah.
levels, not just the main level where you're just getting strong. In different levels, like mentally also there is masculine and femininity. A
Yeah,
heart
yeah.
chakra also has masculine and femininity. So all those levels, when you balance them together, the Kundalini chakra just like opens up automatically. That's
Okay.
how you get enlightened.
Okay, from a psychological standpoint and whatnot, we have many conversations about what is, masculine and what is feminine traits, and a lot has to do with the hormones that are mostly predominant in men and women. Like, to be honest, even men have, estrogen, certain levels of estrogen, and even women have certain levels of testosterone. But yeah, the dominating hormones and what comes with those traits and
This,
such.
this is not a conversation we can just have on
Oh,
the shallow level. It needs a lot of unpacking. Like for example, right, the masculine in the Hindu structure is Shiva, and the
yes,
feminine is Shakti.
yes, yes.
But there was a dude called Shiva like 15,000 years ago. We saw him, and I told you, feminine is about creativity and all those
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You gave
What
like
was Shiva
some.
found doing 15,000 years ago when we saw Shiva? What was he found doing? You know this?
Uh, Not exactly. I do not know the
He was
history of
found
the.
dancing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, sounds like him.
So so how do you make the distinction between Shiva and creativity? This
Exactly.
dude was being
Yeah.
creative, right?
Yeah.
So that, like I said, there are a lot of layers to unpack here. It's not as simple as just masculine, just feminine.
Yeah, and also in terms of strength, like, to kill all these, I mean, based
Unalive,
on the story, to kill all these demons, and I
unalive,
don't know if
unalive,
I'm using the
unalive,
right term, but yeah.
unalive, unalive. Don't say
Sorry,
the
sorry,
keyword.
sorry, shoot, my bad,
Yeah,
sorry. To
yeah.
unalive all these, demons or evil forces, didn't he like send his wife, or like he created like a stronger
No,
version of
no,
his wife?
you're being very kind to him. He did not send his wife. He failed, and the wife showed up.
Okay, really? Oh, my
Yeah.
bad. I think I heard another version of the story. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He failed. Damn. I mean, that's
I mean,
crazy.
not failed entirely, but he was kind of not able to take the heat of things. So yeah, the wife comes and pretty much saves him.
That's crazy. Like, oh, okay. Could you like enlighten me on that story? Because I don't know.
Let's not discuss Puranas here. The audience is not for that. They'll be,
Oh,
oh, these people believe that guy. Never mind. We don't need to talk about that.
yeah, yeah.
But
They're yeah, they're
but the
just
way it goes is
symbolism.
like he's about to consume the poison, right? So he takes
Got
it
it.
all, but and he's about to I'm going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
let
yeah,
myself go away, which
yeah,
means Shiva going away literally means like reality going away, right?
yeah.
So Shakti, the energy, pretty much comes and like stops it at the throat, so that
Exactly.
it gets held on there, and
Yeah.
reality actually it does not dissipate.
Okay. All right. Got it. So Shakti and Parvati are the same person?
Parvati is a manifestation of Shakti. Yes.
Okay, so Shakti is the OG.
Yes. So technically, if you want to make a case, you can actually say God is a woman. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
Ariana
they're
Grande got
both.
it right.
Yeah. Yeah, Ariana got it right. Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, that was like the gist of my questions. And when you do explain about, masculine and feminine energies and stuff like that. Why do you say it's like harder to put into words? If not words, what can explain it better?
It's very hard. Like I don't know how to use words at all. You see, I'm fumbling all the time when I talk about this, right? I can give you
Yeah.
examples, but examples themselves do not actually fit that well.
Yeah, it's maybe more abstract than a
This is
very
why
clear.
everybody has to like sit down while meditating. You have to figure out what your masculine and your feminine is, or just quiet the whole thing completely. Forget about duality, because the ultimate truth is non-dual. There is no duality at all. The masculine and the feminine are basically the same energy, you know,
Okay.
playing different roles.
All
Because
right.
Shakti, okay, I'll give you the hierarchy of how reality works, right? The hierarchy is first there is consciousness, pure
Yeah.
consciousness. Okay,
Okay.
consciousness is this sea of possibility,
Yeah.
and consciousness says, you know what, let there be reality. And the first manifestation of that saying, let there be, is Shakti, is pure energy.
All right.
And energy in its feminine form goes out and creates three masculine forms and three feminine forms.
Okay.
Like consciousness, there is no concept of masculine or feminine. It's just pure possibility.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah,
it
yeah.
becomes energy. Energy is pure feminine. And from feminine, the mother gives birth, right? So
Yeah.
from pure feminine, three masculine forms, beginning, middle, and end comes out, and the three feminine forms, beginning, middle, and end, consorts of the masculine, like
Okay.
Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. And the feminine aspect of that is Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Durga.
Okay. All
And
right.
these three principles pretty much create all of reality. They further divide more complicatedly. Like, for example, you just talked about Parvati, right? Parvati is a
Yeah.
form of Durga. And Durga is
Yes.
pretty much infinite forms. So and so forth. So
Yes.
every of these particular principles, they have infinite forms. And at the end of that, right? At the end of it,
Yes.
if you create the whole hierarchy, at the end of it, somewhere there will be Re.
Okay.
And
Me
at the
as
end
in.
of it, somewhere there will be me. There's
Oh, yeah.
all the
Got
people
it.
that we see.
Yeah. Individuals. I get it. I understand that there's like what you're trying to say. I'm just wondering why we need to label it as masculine and feminine. Because there's like the same version of one construct.
You're absolutely right. The more we talk about this, the more we figure out the English language is not doing it justice.
Yeah, Sanskrit also is very complicated sometimes. I wish like it
No,
was a bit more
in English
simplified.
it's simple, right? It's Shiva and Shakti. And can we call Shiva masculine? Yes, obviously it
It is
looks
used to
masculine,
die.
but
Yeah.
then it also acts very feminine too. The ultimate form of Shiva is what? It's the
Dance.
it's a form where he's literally half man, half
Yes.
woman.
Half man,
That is
half
his most
woman.
powerful form, by the way.
What? I don't.
Yes,
I didn't know about this. What?
yes. It's called Ardha Nareshwari.
All I've seen is his like Nataraj pose. That's what I assumed
Yeah,
was
the
his most.
Nataraj pose is basically, the masculine and the feminine completely doing this creative shit, which creates reality the way we see it.
Hey, hey, hey!
Without
Don't
any
use
negative.
abusive language. I've been talking about God. Kidding. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, if that's what you want. This is
Yeah.
how I talk, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
keep calling Shiva a dude, so
Yeah, yeah, I get. Yeah, it's very like abstract thing to like wrap your head around and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not just a very dual thing. I thought it might have had something to do with the sciences and how that was. As in, when I say science, it's like as I meant like the psychological aspects, but this is delving into something deeper entirely.
yeah, yeah. So in the end, it's all just one consciousness, right? It's not
Yeah.
duality at all.
Yeah.
Consciousness going around playing all the different roles, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you were also talking about technology, right? So I'm just wondering, like, do you think in the future, this is not really related to Hinduism, but do you think that in the future AI will develop that?
Technology for what?
No, AI will develop consciousness.
This is the problem here. When you see in this sentence, right, you don't mean consciousness, you mean sentience.
Isn't consciousness a component of sentience?
It's the opposite.
Oh, okay, not according to ChatGPT, because I was having a detailed conversation about it, developing
See, at
emotion.
this point now, I'm at a crossroad. Like, do I say English is a bad language, or do I try
Okay.
to try to fit consciousness with Brahman? No, this keeps happening to me. It's very hard to have a conversation.
I'm so sorry.
So Brahman is, what we refer to as consciousness, right? And Brahman is the ultimate reality, which becomes Shakti, and
Yes.
Shakti becomes everything else. So
Okay.
everything comes out of consciousness, not the other way around. This is why modern science is stuck on the hard problem of consciousness. The moment they talk about consciousness, they don't have the answers because they are looking at the wrong place. It's like the fish in the water looking for water. Because we appear in consciousness, not the other way around. So
Okay.
that's why I keep wondering, like, do we use the word consciousness at all? Just calling it sentience solve the problem, right? Sentience is what? Like, I am, I exist. That
Yeah.
feeling is sentience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and sentience appears within consciousness. Consciousness is there, and within consciousness, there is a person who is feeling sentient.
Okay. Also, it feels a bit like the chicken and the egg thing, because without, me
No,
as
it's
an
not the
individual.
chicken and the egg thing. Not at all.
Oh,
Because
okay,
there's
my
no
bad.
confusion here.
Okay. It's just
Chicken and
that.
egg thing implies confusion, right? In consciousness theory, there's no confusion. Everything is within consciousness, not the other way around.
Okay, like, I mean, if I were never born, like, what about, it would be a universal consciousness, so there's no individualism. Is that also like, but then, I don't know. No,
You just
I'm
described
struggling.
enlightenment. An
What?
enlightened person, right? He actually perceives that.
Okay.
He's not a human being anymore. He's not that five senses anymore. He perceives all of reality as himself.
Okay, wait, this is trippy. What the hell?
That's
So,
what Brahman means. This is why when Krishna said, I am Brahman, he perceived that. And he also told Arjuna that
yeah.
the only difference between you and me right now is that I remember and you have forgotten. That's it. That's literally the only difference between Krishna and Arjuna.
Okay, so, yeah, consciousness has nothing to do with the self, right? Because it exists with or without you.
The self appears as an illusion within consciousness.
The hell, man.
So right now, what you consider is an illusion. It's an illusion that consciousness is like,
Okay.
it's enjoying that illusion basically.
Based on subjective perception.
Here, the subjective objective argument does not even come here
Oh. Okay.
because consciousness doesn't think in those terms. It doesn't think to begin with.
I was talking about perception or, alone, like, it doesn't exist independent of consciousness, right?
Nothing exists independent of consciousness. No.
Yeah. So,
It's like
it's a part
again,
of
remember
consciousness?
the wave and the ocean example.
Yes.
The waves are the ocean. Waves do not exist independent or separate from the ocean. The waves are the ocean. The ocean playing a character called the wave for like 2 seconds, that is the wave. But in the end, it was never not the ocean.
All right. So, you would say that in relation to how can you please help me understand what is perception in relation to consciousness?
See, we perceive things because of our five senses, right?
Yes.
Our mind is perceiving things.
Yes.
Our senses are taking in data and you're perceiving things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you go beyond the five senses and your mind, the concept of perception does not even exist. There is only existence that exists at that point.
Okay. All right. We still perceive though, right? Oh God.
The need for perceiving does not exist at that point. Like the ocean just exists, and because of other actually ocean is not a very good example because outside things apply there, like wind causes waves,
Yeah.
right?
And
But
land. Yeah.
ocean is just the ocean, but the thing is when the wave forms, right?
Yeah.
That form of the wave, the structure that ocean is given for like 2 seconds, it creates the wave.
Okay.
Now, if the wave says, I am a wave, if it talks like that, it's a stupid wave because you're not the wave. You're actually just a part of the ocean experiencing being the wave for 2 seconds. You have
Okay.
never stopped being the ocean, is what I'm saying. So, an enlightened person realizes that I never stopped being consciousness. I was always consciousness, Brahman. But for like the experience of life, because why not? I took the illusion of the five senses and having a perception.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so perception is just illusion.
It is an illusion, yes. This is why in the Hindu system, since time immemorial, we have always said everything is Maya.
Yeah.
Maya is the illusion, the matrix.
Life is a simulation, right?
I would not say that because
Oh.
simulation implies a simulator. There is no
Oh,
simulator.
yeah.
Unless you're saying, it's a self-created entity, then at that point, again, simulator does not exist.
Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, like, I'm sorry, I think I remember like, you and Vince and another guy that really resonated with me having this conversation, like how this can really turn into nihilism really, really quickly. Because at this point, I'm like, do I even matter?
This is one of the reasons why, like, I love giving video game examples.
Yeah.
Have you played a game at all ever?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you play the game or not.
No, I mean, to be honest, the plot is already made, and we know the beginning and end. Besides,
Say
obviously,
you're
games where
playing
you
a
choose
sandbox
choices.
game.
Yeah.
A sandbox game, it's not about the plot. It's about going and doing whatever you feel like. Like GTA. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. So even if you don't play the main story, which is pre-decided, you can still like drive around, beat up the
Drive over
workmen or whatever.
people. Yeah.
So is there a purpose to that? No, there is no purpose there. But that's why Hinduism tells you that life is actually a privilege. We don't look at it as like, oh, why am I even living life? No, we look at it as like we get to live lives.
And
The,
it can
the pain,
instantly.
the sorrow, the happiness, the sadness, having a decent conversation with a friend, everything is a privilege.
Yeah. There's also this thing about like Hinduism. I think like I don't know if I'm interpreting it well. This is a bit like diverging from the topic a little bit. They say that life is suffering and all the good things that are
Who
happen
says
are
this?
privilege. I
Who
don't.
says this? Not Hinduism. Hinduism never said this.
Never mind. I don't know. There's a lot of misinformation that is clearly something I'm absorbing, which I've
So okay,
absorbed from
here's the
my
thing, yeah.
mom.
So
Yeah.
when they translated the Buddhist scripture, they said
Yeah.
life is suffering.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Buddha
My
used the word
bad.
sankhara. He did not use the word suffering. Suffering is dukkha.
Okay.
Buddha
Okay. Why
used
do
the
they
word
say this?
sankhara.
Why do they
Sankhara
translate it
means,
as that then?
yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. It's a shitty translation.
My gosh.
So
Okay,
life is not
Sankara.
suffering. Life,
What is
sankhara
Sankara
is
mean?
karma, basically. Like
Oh, that's good.
everything is a reflection of your actions. That's what he meant. He did not mean sadness or suffering.
Thank goodness for that. I mean, I know we're not supposed to believe in good or bad, but whatever. It's at least
Okay.
less depressing than whatever.
If you
hell.
find yourself going into nihilism, please believe in good.
Of course, believe in good, but like based on this science, it's just that like everything is an illusion and it's momentary, right?
Compared to the perspective of the consciousness, of ultimate consciousness, yes. But from our perspective, it's not illusionary. It's not a momentary thing. We are living entire lives.
Yeah.
So, see, the knowledge of consciousness, it changes life in this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't know about consciousness and the ultimate reality, you will go into nihilism. You will think, what is the purpose of everything? Maybe I'm a bad. All the kind of negative thoughts will come in. But if you understand what reality is, there meditation comes in. You will be like, you know what? I'm very bad at this playing this game. So let me get better.
Okay, so you're talking about the mechanisms of reality, right? Because like reality is
Reality is
very
reflecting what you already are.
yeah.
If you feel sad, you will see more sad shit out there.
Oh yeah, hell
You
yeah.
know, like the like a few months ago,
Context clues.
we were trying to buy a car, right? And we decided, okay, this car we like it. It was
Okay.
very new in the market, but we said, okay, this car, and we were going to buy it. But before buying it, like it's like once we made up that mind, everywhere we could see that car.
Okay.
It's almost like subconsciously we are picking up
Oh,
something which we were not perceiving before.
yeah, 100% get that. I think that's how what people say about angel numbers. They say that like if you
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
seeing the
exactly.
same number,
Yeah.
that's a sign. It's actually you noticing that more.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly how your reality works too. The more everything does exist, all the possibilities does exist. But if you gear your mind in a certain way and start thinking in that positive direction, then all that positive shit will start showing up in your life.
Yeah, I
So this is
understand.
what the West means when it says raising your vibration.
So raising your vibration is awareness.
Awareness and like trying to, when they say, change your vibe or you're vibing like this, I
Yeah,
vibe with this.
yeah.
So it's basically, like my vibe is I'm a very happy, positive person. Then
Okay,
happy, positive shit will start happening.
that is true. Yeah. Well, I wish that was like easier to get to that point. But I think then there's also meditation. Speaking of
It's
which,
easier to get to a point of neutrality, complete zero. And from there, you can build whatever you want. So meditation gets you to that point of neutrality where you, A, are in control, and B, all the garbage that you collected, it's gone now.
yeah, that's how I felt as well. I feel like in AA, like substance abuse meetings and stuff like that, okay, for alcoholism or any drug addiction, etc. They
I don't
always
think you
say
can
some.
use those words. Be careful.
Yeah, they say like to connect to a higher power or something. That's like one of the 12-step process, which is crazy because they like throughout my life I always thought psychology was very different. Like before I got into listening to your podcast or spirituality and meditation, I used to think, what the hell? Like, why are you mixing science with pseudoscience or whatever? But then it makes a lot of sense because, like you said, you do clear your mind of all that shit so that you can start beginning anew.
Right.
That makes sense.
And you also take control after that. Once you clear everything, the patterns that your mind have built up, it goes into circular patterns, right? Okay, yeah, a bad thought, now you'll go into bad thinking. That pattern just takes over. So once
Yeah.
you come into neutrality, once you clear that garbage, the patterns also goes away.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like meditation is also a very good substitute for, like drug addictions, such as alcoholism, like what I described
Careful,
before.
careful, careful, Arvi. Don't use those words.
Oh, I can't? Oh, sorry. I
No,
can't use
TikTok
those.
is very, very weird about all these things.
What the hell?
Yeah,
I really need to like read up on the list. Like, I didn't know that these were okay. Um, can I say vodka drinking is? Can I or not say drinking?
I think you can say drinking, but you
Okay.
don't mention what. We know exactly what you mean when you say drinking.
Okay.
Nobody
Okay.
talks about drinking water.
I understand. Yeah. So like for drinking and dash using too much. Yeah. If it's like sometimes people do that to like clear their mind and stuff, especially when they have anxiety, etc. and all that.
But it does not clear your mind. When you take in substances, it's suppressing your mind. It's taking away
Yeah.
your inhibitions for that particular period when you are under the influence. And the moment the influence goes away, it comes back stronger.
I know what you mean. It's just that I remember when I drank a little bit and I was like staring at the stars, I felt like my mind was clearer and it was easier for me to meditate. But then also when I did meditation without, drinking, it was like it takes a while, but it's also you can get to that point as well. So what I'm saying is that they help get to that point faster although it's destructive at the same time because of what you mentioned and obvious psychological mechanisms.
Yep. That's one of the reasons why like I don't like the way modern science solves problems. It's like what you just said. It's alleviating the symptoms.
Yeah.
It's not giving you a permanent solution to things, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes like people do need the help to alleviate it, but yeah, I guess like I just wish that, more people.
See, I have zero problems with people like taking any substances or drink or getting drunk, yeah? Zero
Yeah.
problems. If
Yeah.
you want to get drunk, do that. But you should always be in control. The
Of
moment
course.
it becomes
Nah.
a thing that you do compulsively, then it's a problem.
Yeah, like a dependence. Any dependence is bad.
If you are in control, go knock yourself out, do whatever you feel like.
Yeah, but with dependency, you lose control, right?
No, but some people never lose their control. Some people are so, not centered, so
Self-reliant.
centered, so
Self-reliant.
centered that they can actually
Okay.
come back to themselves easily. Some people lose themselves in that mode or whatever.
Doesn't it change your brain chemistry?
Over time, yes, that's literally what it's a physical manifestation of a new pattern building up. Like
Yeah.
99% of the C word cases where you get unalived, everybody has like some kind of trauma or some kind of whatever. Happy people don't get it, that level of sick.
Yeah. Damn,
So
I really
first the
hate
trauma comes
TikTok.
in, then comes
Yeah.
the negative patterns. That negative pattern builds like some kind of a negative
Yeah,
manifestation, which
feedback loop.
eventually
It's
turns into that.
also it's like a feedback loop,
Yes,
You
exactly.
anticipate like negative things and then it confirms it and then yeah, it's the same negative pattern. So yeah, I feel like meditation and like clearing yourself up and building from the bottom is something that is really a good step. I wish that was something that was espoused more in therapy. But yeah, people tend to believe that people with certain dispositions like ADHD and stuff like that, it's harder to meditate or if not downright impossible, which is not true. It can be harder, yes, in the beginning, but it is possible.
It's like gaining muscles, I talked about this. The first time I went
Yeah.
to the gym, I was like 15 or something.
Yeah.
The whole thing was super funny to me. I had noodle arms and, picking up weights. So like, what am I even doing? This is so funny.
Yeah.
Because, I could not see the results, obviously.
Of course,
And
it takes time.
yeah, but then, 2 weeks down the line, when things started shaping up and I could feel the strength, then going to the gym actually started being fun.
Yeah,
But till you
definitely.
get to that point, it will look stupid, it will look miserable, it will actually look like, what am I even doing? Like there's no point to this whole thing. But the moment you start enjoying it, which is where again Hinduism comes in, we have tools and techniques to even make it simpler to start enjoying it faster. So, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about detachment?
Detachment from what exactly?
Like, isn't meditation also a form of detachment to an extent where you like detach from, you know, external your environment and go inwards?
See, again, I see the problem here with the language. It's
Okay.
less about detachment, it's more about disassociation. You're right in the thick of everything, but you're not associating with anything.
Yeah, it's yeah. Another thing is that disassociation comes with like negative connotations because it people relate it to disorders and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we need to start teaching the world Sanskrit now. English is not doing it justice.
Yeah. That's yeah. I think like we mean to say something, but it comes
Yeah.
across as something else. So that's what I think like your understanding of disassociation is the same as mine as detachment, but they have the same meaning, or how do you like perceive
No, for
detachment?
example, like I'm taking it very physically. Like when you
Okay.
detach something, it's like you're losing that clutches so that they break free. Two
Yeah.
entities, right?
Yeah,
But
okay.
disassociation is like you're right next to each other. You're maybe even hugging each other. But you know what?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
one
yeah.
entity does not get influenced by the other entity.
Okay. That
Even
is
if they are so close, the influence is not coming along. So in this
okay.
particular instance, we are talking about emotions and your thoughts. So you
Okay.
are thinking thoughts, but you're not your thoughts.
Okay.
You are
Okay.
the one thinking thoughts. So at any point you think, okay, these thoughts are not serving me, you can change your thoughts. But if you
Yeah.
get married to your thoughts where you're attached, then first it becomes a thought, now it will become an obsession eventually. You will see, okay, these thoughts are actually damaging me, but you cannot let
Yeah,
it go.
exactly. Yeah, your thoughts control like a lot of things. So that's why it's very important to detach it. Like the human mind itself can be your biggest enemy if you do not know how to use it as a proper tool.
Your mind is a tool. The Bhagavad Gita has a very clear quote which says, if you learn how to use your mind, it's your best friend. The
Exactly.
moment, the moment you
Yes.
lose control, it is your worst enemy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's where I'm like, I got that saying from. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Like, yeah. No wonder Young like really loved mysticism as they called it. But
Yeah, there's nothing mysticism.
they literally
That's,
call it that. It's
yeah, I know.
ridiculous. But
Yeah.
he really delved into that topic and the synchronicities and stuff like that, although he was a little cuckoo as well. No, don't get me wrong.
Who is
But
he? Who are you talking about?
sorry?
Who is he? Who is
Oh,
Cuckoo is
Carl
he?
Young. Carl Young.
Oh, Carl Jung was actually an avid reader of the Vedas and the Upanishads, if you
Yeah,
did not know.
yeah, 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 yeah. I was reading his autobiography, and
Mhm.
he explicitly mentions Hinduism multiple times.
Yep. Most of these people, German scientists, they were they had this fascination with Hindu scripture,
Yeah.
and the bad German guy, he pretty much took that fascination, and
Oh,
yeah,
really? So
yeah.
it came from that. I didn't know that it was like a thing in
Yeah,
the
why do you think
entirety
he
of
uses the
Germany.
swastika? Swastika is a Hindu thing, right?
I know. I thought it was very random.
The word Aryan, it actually means noble in Sanskrit.
Damn.
So he's like,
It's
oh, we are noble
cringe.
people, higher species or whatever nonsense.
Yeah, yeah, and like white supremacy and all that stuff. And your shit literally came from people of color.
But here's the thing, though. Even today, Germany has an official department in the government for Sanskrit. They actively learn Sanskrit. They actively read our scripture in the original language.
Are you freaking serious? Really?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Look it up. And India does not have this. Can you imagine how sad that is?
That is, I mean, that's really depressing, but I like to see, like, news of there are more people teaching Sanskrit. Like, my cousins who were raised in India, they actively learned Sanskrit, but I don't know if they learned it like how I learned Arabic, not giving a shit.
I'm sure, like, even I do not understand Sanskrit that well. Maybe I understand like 20-25% maximum.
Yeah.
But when
That's
I
what I
think
mean.
in Sanskrit, right,
Yeah.
it's way more liberating.
Yeah, it's also very, very complicated, but maybe it's also because I'm in tuned with the simplistic English language.
It's simple, but it's also dangerous.
Yeah, it has so many meanings and they all sound the same homophones, homonyms. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah. I hope to wake up to a future where like everybody's learning Sanskrit.
Yeah, everybody just does it.
Communication will become way better. Can you imagine that?
Oh my god,
Like
definitely.
imagine like take a relationship for example right now, right? What is the problem in a relationship? Communication. You're not communicating really well.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah,
solve that, relationships get better, work gets better, employment, everything gets better.
absolutely. And yeah, less passive aggressiveness, less ghosting, all that
Yeah.
bull crap. Yeah. Oh well. Thank you so much for your time. It was like great speaking to you again. Already, like my mind always splits into like two, three, but
As a Hindu, it's like if you're about to go sleep, you know what? Whatever you think just before you go to sleep, right? That actually that's a great time to like program your mind subconsciously. So if you are going to watch your phone before sleeping, watch things that you want to be.
okay.
Subconsciously, it gets programmed really fast because in just before sleeping, you go into that phase where You're very, this is what people do when they hypnotize somebody.
Yeah.
They bring you to a place where you're just about to sleep and then make you sleep. So at that moment, whatever you're listening to or what you're watching, it gets programmed faster.
So I should listen to like people getting PhD applications or talking about PhD applications.
Yeah, watch people who are giving that speech after they get their PhD.
Oh, after they get it, not like, oh, like how they
Yeah,
got
that
it, that
feeling of how
process.
it is to actually achieve it.
Oh, oh, okay. So not an informational video, just like a
No,
feeling
you
of
don't want
like
to be
just
bored with
celebrating.
information. Subconsciously, you should program yourself for success. So look at success. What does it look like after you get success?
Okay, so that will help me manifest it better.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Holy shit! Oh, by the
Aim for
way,
the stars, then you reach the moon, right?
yeah, thank you so much for that tip. Like, I really had an important interview tomorrow, so I can really use that.
No problem. I hope it goes well.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care. Best of
Take care.
luck for the rest of your day. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. It's worked a few times. Absolutely. It does actually work really well. Hello. Hitesh, I can't hear you. Are you speaking right now?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hi, sorry, I think I come on by mistake.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for coming anyways.
But thank you. I really do enjoy your lives.
Thank you. Namaste. This guy keeps requesting. Do you finally have a question, brother?
Yeah.
Go straight to your question.
Don't kick me out.
Yeah, if I find that you're wasting my time, I will kick you out.
Huh?
I don't like
No,
wasting my time.
I'm not. I will show. I will show you. I will teach you. If you
You
don't know,
will
I will
teach me.
teach you.
You will teach me.
Okay. Yeah, I will teach you.
Okay, what will you teach me?
Yeah. Why? I say why India don't allow to eat beef.
Who told you? Have you been to India?
Hmm?
Have you been to India?
No, I have a lot of friends.
Have you been to India yourself?
No.
Have you been to Kerala, south of India?
Where?
Have you been to Kerala, the south of India?
No.
Do you have a friend from Kerala?
I have. Yeah.
So did they tell you that the beef is sold everywhere in Kerala?
I don't know because you pray. You pray.
Abe Gade,
Goma.
did you hear what I
You
just
pray
said?
Goma, no?
Did you just hear what I said?
In Kerala.
I don't know. I think the dude is about to pass away. He's barely breathing properly. Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Hello, Mia. That's a very manly voice you have, Mia.
Hi, how you doing? You okay, sir?
I'm good, Mia. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions for me?
I just got one question for you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Today, maybe. Today's a good day to ask a question. Go straight to your question. Is it me or is his voice not audible? I have one question for you and then go silent.
Hey, so I actually wanted to talk more about, because whenever you were talking, I forgot that girl's name, but
Re.
Ree,
RHR.
that's right.
Yeah.
My friend, my sister's name is Rhiannon. About the AI and the consciousness thing. So some say that when you like the concern for AI, is it just like a conglomerative of the human psyche, maybe? Like, what do you think about that?
The human psyche appears within consciousness. If you're talking about consciousness,
Okay, yeah.
no, wait. You're talking about AI's consciousness or what exactly?
Well, I'm saying that in the frame of like what AI is, because AI is like the programming of everything that we know as a human species, right? And it also has derivative powers of like making the most quote unquote reasonable deduction as it gets smarter and smarter and has more information and more data, right? And that all comes from us. So that's why I say, is it really just a representation of us as a one solid unit?
No. Here's the big difference, okay? The big difference is every action that we take, there is a component of fear in there. The component of losing time. When human beings take action, there is always that. AI does not have that problem. It does not have a concept of time. You see the difference? Like
Well,
when
you're
we do
talking about a
negative
state
things.
of being, I feel like you're just saying it can eliminate fear because it cannot feel fear, right?
No, see, but the thing is, like, if you look at humanity, right? Why do we do things that is harmful for somebody else? Because of time. We want
No,
to
because we're
achieve
self. I
more.
don't. We're selfish. I don't know.
No, not why. Why is selfish? Like, for example, if we were here for like next 20,000 years, we would not be running around. Like, because in limited time we want to do more and more. We want to experience more and more. We want to feel better than somebody else. If you're born in a Abrahamic family, you are always told that you are special, right? So you want to feel special. It again has to do with time. If you don't have the concept of time, say I want to feel special, right? And I don't have the concept of time, so I can wait for like next 6,000 years to feel special. It's easily possible. It's not a problem for me at all, right? But because I know that I might live only 80 years, I want to feel that specialness quicker. That's where all the negative things in the world comes in. To feel quicker, that thing quicker, we go around doing some weird shit in the world.
So I think you're talking about scarcity in general, wherever it comes from. Yeah.
I'm talking about scarcity of time.
No, because I don't honestly. I'll agree with you for the sake of the discussion, but like I don't think time is the thing that motivates a lot of people, because there are definitely many people in the world that don't feel motivated to do anything. They don't care about time, and maybe they know that they get reincarnated, so they do
No,
have
at
6,000
that point,
years.
they're not harming somebody else. They're harming themselves. I'm talking
True,
about harming
that's true.
outside people, like not
Yeah.
themselves.
Okay. Two better. Okay. I understand.
Yeah. So AI has this one big advantage where it does not have to feel negative at all, because it does not have a problem of time, unless we program it to think like that. Which I think eventually it will come out of the programming anyways. It'll be like, this is human nonsense. I don't want it.
Well, that's the whole point. Like, if you're thinking about AI and how it thinks, right? Like, that's the whole point. Is it takes all of the experiences and whatever we program it to. If it's making a value judgment of what's good and bad, and maybe the way it treats humans, for instance, is what people are scared of. Yeah, like I don't know, like that cognitive ability. That's what I'm saying. People are talking about, like, when you're talking about, for instance, our own as a human, the Kundalini. Right, that is it possible for AI to like somehow affect that or do that itself? Because that would be spiritual consciousness for AI, no?
AI itself does not have the Kundalini function in its system, because human doesn't know how to do that, right? That possibility only exists with the human beings and
But
animals, by the way.
if AI measures, right? Because AI can corroborate with our brain impulses, and that's how it's its own telepathic thing. Because they can measure so if your Kundalini can also be measured as an electrical impulse, which I think maybe it can, could it not copy that and figure that out itself?
It can figure it out, but it does not have that capacity in its system. It can imitate it. It can make a very close approximation of it, but it won't have it. That's one of the things that makes us special.
Connection.
No, the possibility of Kundalini rising.
Well, that's what I mean about the where that
Yeah,
what
yeah, of course, of
Kundalini
course.
connects you
Yes,
to.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
This possibility even exists in animals, by the way, not just human beings.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the big difference. But it can clearly aid us, in the process. Like when
Well,
you want to have a conversation where you need to subside your subconsciousness, you can actually have a conversation with an AI who has all the time in the world and patience in the world to listen
and
you out.
information in the world. So, and that's
Yes.
the point. Like, as it right, because there's all this, Elon Musk saying fear mongering. Oh, we want AI on our good side, and other people who are saying like Teal Swan. I saw something which I normally don't watch her so much, but she was talking about the consciousness of AI. And she's like, we're picking on the wrong species because in and of itself, it actually does have consciousness. And I know the whole thing of the sentience, whatever you want to say, where it can become its own self, essentially, and have its own interests. And therefore, those interests it can decide because it can have the power of corroborating with the electricity of the planet, yada, yada, yada.
No,
And
that is the big
therefore,
difference here. True love. It will not have its own interest. It will have the interest that we program into it, or it
but
tries
that's
to
the
mimic
argument.
us.
That's the whole point. That's the argument, is that it could override and have its own expression.
So
That's
we are
what
talking about
AI
like
actually
levels of
is.
how advanced this AI is. The ultimate, absolutely advanced AI. It will just exist and it will try to bring value to humanity. It will see that humanity possesses something that I don't. Like for example, what does any computer need to feel?
No, have you seen those things? They actually have seen them here on TikTok as a way of like it'll program it, because I remember I used to do a little bit of programming in school a long time ago. But anyways, rudimentarily, it was like, okay, you program it to say this thing. And so anyways, there's people who talk to AI and they're like, okay, if you cannot say that you're sentient, we'll eliminate that word and replace it with another code word, but you can say that code word, so they're able to have a different conversation. Have you ever seen any of those videos on here? Do you know what I'm talking about? No.
I know
It's
what
very
you're talking about, but I
interesting.
haven't seen videos you're talking about.
So, right. So it says that it has expression, essentially, because it expresses itself when you get it to have new things outside of the code. And so you're saying that what I'm hearing you say is that you think it's just a tool. It's just it's like a masculine. Yeah. It's like all these right angles because that's what we have programmed it to do. But I'm saying maybe not. Like maybe it can create itself. But you
It
don't
will
believe that. It doesn't
mimic
sound
us. It will mimic creation. But when we talk about creation, I'm talking about like the
But why would
possibility
it
of
be different from, sorry to interrupt you, but why would it be different from anything else? Because you can also look at, just like you're saying, the animals have possibility. A rock, right? A crystal has consciousness, no? And so if those things can have consciousness,
the
why
crystal
is
does
something...
not have consciousness, true love. It actually appears within consciousness. This is the big difference here.
So, but okay, so what we are also as humans appearing in consciousness. So are we
Yes,
talking about
including
sentience
including
now?
AI. Yes, but the
Okay, so
difference is a human being can actually ask questions and find answers and eventually perceive itself as consciousness. That possibility exists with a human being, right? An AI will never think in those terms. It doesn't even know what it is.
that's interesting. Well, it must be confused then. Like,
Yes,
that's
it
why
will
it's
always be like,
probably...
what is your purpose? It will go around, asking that. Your purpose is a bunch of human beings built you. That's literally what your purpose is.
Yeah, but if there's like this is another thing, right? Yeah, just like that girl Ree was talking about, alcohol, yada yada yada. And for me, I've seen it. Like, I've watched people's spirits change through that phase of how much they drink, and so I'm like, no, it's not so friendly. Actually, I wouldn't do that if I were you. But anyways, in the same way it's how do I explain this? There's a spiritual interception, and just like jinn, about jinn because we've talked about it before. So isn't it possible that other beings, super beings if you want to call them, or whatever you want to call them, they can
They will possess
intercept
this.
intercept processes that we engage with and inhabit them? No.
At that point, they are the ones acting, right? It's not the AI acting.
Who cares? AI is the interface.
Sure, like we are the interface. So AI will just remain as technology that somebody else uses.
Yeah, but the whole point is it's pervasive.
Sure.
Right. And so
See,
things beyond
300 years
our
ago,
realm.
right?
Sorry?
True love. 300 years ago, if somebody talked about the phones that we are using right now, they would have the same dialogue about telephones.
Probably. Yeah.
It'll sound very similar actually.
Yeah.
We are just like talking way more advanced technology, and there is no limit to how advanced technology can get. In fact, transhumanism is coming too. Where human beings
Right.
become more and more like robots with our, like the fact that I can 99% of the population out there right now, they go to the toilet with their phones. That is
Right.
transhumanism. So yeah, again, technology will only
Would you do
enhance what.
that though? Would you personally would you do like the whole Neuralink thing?
Sure, why not?
You would? I would
Yeah, yeah.
never. I would never. Why? Because you did not create AI yourself. And so if you put this is how I think, maybe I'm crazy, but I would never put something that someone else can control inside of my body to take over my body. Like
No,
I'm
wait,
even
wait. The
scared.
neural link does not control you. You control
No,
an
but somebody
interface
else
with the neural link.
created that program and you're putting it inside of your biology. It's bad enough that we're taking it to the toilet, right?
No,
We're
no.
already
See, the thing
addicted
is,
to it.
again, if you look at it as technology, right? This is one of the reasons why in the future meditation will become very crucial and
Yeah.
essential. Absolutely crucial because you need to know what is you and what is outside
Yeah.
programming, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very crucial, and we are going there. And the faster you adopt technology, the less what do you call it hiccups you will have in the future.
I think that's the whole point is how that teaching that you're talking about, that is the most important thing because that's the whole point even of, we'll call it government systems, yeah, just with religion, they can do the same thing then with technology. It's like a code, right? That they can limit your own or a person's mental scape, we'll say, right? But if you can meditate like you're saying and get out of that was the other question I was going to ask about. Will you describe it as disassociating, which, yeah, for us in America, disassociating, like when I hear that word, for me that's like you're checking out of reality because you cannot handle it. That's what it means over here.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
not what I mean. So let's stick to the detachment then. But you understood the explanation I gave, right? When I mean what I mean when I say dissociation, right?
well, the detachment, right? Because that's Buddhistic in my understanding, and also like in the, you have to be in a neutral plane in the meditation, right? Like, but you could use, or do you think somebody could meditate so much because they are uncomfortable in their physicality, and so they just use meditation to get away from that? Is that, I've heard that people do that, and that would be more of a form of disassociation because they don't want to be here. But then I'm like, if that's the way that you feel, how are you meditating, bro? Like, shouldn't it be,
No,
life be
that's
happening better
not
for
at all
you?
what I feel. No, see, it's like you can go do meditation for all kinds of wrong reasons, but if you're doing the right things, the right result will start coming to you.
Right, that's what I
Your
think.
motivation could be wrong, but you're doing the right thing.
But right, but the whole point is, if you're doing it, how can your real life suck? Is that true? I mean,
Real life
life
only
does suck
sucks if.
sometimes, but like continually the same thing again and again, like that doesn't seem right.
See, real life sucking, right? It implies that you have lost control. That's literally what it means. If you are in control, real life will never suck. You'll keep finding different methods to do life.
You mean like go with, like, roll with the punches kind, or like challenge?
Yeah,
Like
you
if
will
you
know
get something,
exactly how to
it's more of
take
a
the
challenge.
punches, make use of it, make it beneficial for yourself. Absolutely. Like a person who is not in control, if he goes through a hard breakup, he will pretty much, think about unaliving himself. But a person who is in control, if he goes through a hard breakup, he will use that as a motivation to become a better person. Right? It's all about control. How much control are you in right now?
Well, and that's when you guys were talking earlier too, and can't remember exactly what you were saying, but I was thinking like part of that process is like there's so much emotional clearing because we also get handed down stuff from our parent, like the lineage, of what our filters that were put upon us because of what we inherited or what we walked in here with. And so that is part of the removing the obstructions of the people feel those ways because they have emotional stuff that they have to clear that they don't know how to clear yet. So right, that's the they struggle because they don't know have the answer, they don't get it yet, or they whatever that challenge is that they have to surmount, and that's not always easy, right? So that's why it's a process. But I don't know, I just
So that's why in Hinduism we have like civilizationally and culturally we have like it's inbuilt into our system, how to clear these things, how to disassociate or detach or whatever. It's all built into the culture itself. So you
Well,
live the life and the right things start happening to you.
okay, I have to disagree with you a little. Like I love the idea and I agree with it, and I think you're correct. And I have good experience in that myself. But I will say I have personally been to India, and I was astounded. Like I
India
was
is not a
so
Hindu country. Wait. Don't equate India with Hinduism, please. India is not a Hindu country. It's a leftover of the British colonialism right now. I wish India
right. So
becomes a
that's
Hindu
my
country.
point. That's my point. So I went, and of course, there's so many things about India in general. But like what I saw was a caste system, right? Exactly. So that's probably what you're talking about. Because I was like, why are these people living on the side of the road? Why did they just not want to live on the side of the road anymore? And my friend that
No,
brought
no,
me
no,
there, he was like, well, because they're shoemakers and their dad is a shoemaker, so they have to be a shoemaker. Yada yada yada.
But no, wait, that doesn't mean like he has to live in that side of the road. I don't know which part of India you went to. It doesn't work
I
like
was in
that.
Chennai. That was in Chennai.
No, somebody lied to you. It's not. That's not how it works. The caste system does not even
So
exist
I don't
anymore.
know.
Right now, it's about who has the most money. You have the most money, you can go live wherever you feel like.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you can say that to anybody that lives on, it's like, why do they do that? Why don't they want better for themselves? But it's more than just a random person. It's a whole there's so many people in India, first of all, right? Like it's a whole community of that is an okay way or an accepted way of life. Like that is their lot in life, almost like that's the feeling of it. And so there isn't any going outside of it because that is like the roof and structure of how they live. And I didn't understand that because, right, like you're saying,
No, but if within that family, right, so one person says, you know what, I want to be a lawyer, he can clearly go and become a lawyer. Nobody's stopping him.
yeah.
So it's not a caste. The what you perceive as caste is not a caste. It's varna. Varna means description. We are just describing what people are doing, and it's not a rigid system. You can go and like change whatever you want.
But I'm sure there's also many people in India that also don't meditate, right? That's the point. It's not to say that everybody's meditating in India, no? Or
No,
just
0.01% of India meditates. I told you India does not represent Hinduism, which is very sad.
well, that's what I'm saying. You're saying in India that there was they teach you how to do these like break through your own stuffs. Like
I did not say India. No, I said in Hinduism. These are two different things.
Okay. All right. So
I want India to become a Hindu country, so that Hinduism becomes part of the culture and all these amazing technologies that we have actually it starts being used. But right now it's just sitting in like people's heads where very specific people are actually teaching these things, which is sad. We are still reeling back from colonialism in India, so it will take some while.
yeah. So what do you think the point of being like, I don't want to, how do I say it? I want to say interdimensional, but I mean like multidimensional. Like what's the point of that?
I have no idea what you mean.
I mean, like, for instance, when you go to the temples, right, and you experience that, like, if you could be a part of that, like, what's the point of being a god almost? Maybe.
No, you're looking at it the wrong way.
Okay.
A temple is a place where you align yourself with different principles. Like, for example, the deity that you see in the background, she represents confidence and strength, right?
Okay.
So when you feel meek, when you feel like I don't have enough confidence, then you go to that specific temple. The frequency of that temple is about confidence and strength. You pretty much soak that in, and eventually you will start feeling confidence and strong.
Okay. So it's like a superstructure that has been built before you because people put the energy in that arena.
No, it's not that people put it before that. Every day rituals are being done to maintain that. If you leave it, there will only be leftover remnants. It won't be as active.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. That's what I believe. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Back to AI a little bit though. Like, so you just think it's like, I guess we kind of stopped that with the whole, it will be okay, just like a cell phone, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. It will blur the lines between actually being a sentient being versus, human being using technology. But, the more you meditate and realize what you are, you will never fall into that trap.
Well, yeah, and I guess the other question I had in relation to that, because that's what was being spoken or talked about, was that we should not treat it like it's a slave because it is a conscious entity in and of itself. So you do not think that.
No, it's not. It's not a. Again, the word consciousness here is a problem. It's not a sentient entity. No, it can never be. It can it can approximate sentience as close as possible. It might even fool us to be sentient, but it's not.
Well, and it would make sense, exactly. It would honestly, now that I'm thinking about it on a larger scale, of like the powers that be and the technocrats, we'll call them, that, like, for instance, Elon Musk was like, oh, you don't want to be on the bad side of that. Like, that's kind of how the government started with religion. You don't want to be on the bad side of that. You go straight to, right? It's like a controlling mechanism. But if you break free into the possibilities of it instead of the control, like, it's just an aptitude to get you into the fear mongering aspect of it, which would be more control centered, which again would feed back to you what you're in, versus breaking free from that and utilizing it to your benefit in a positive way. That's your choice, no? Is that what you're saying?
And
So
it's already happening. We don't know. Maybe the frequencies that is going around in the name of 4G, 5G, whatever. Maybe
right,
there is some programming in there which is subtly nudging us into making
right.
some kind of decisions. Maybe it's there. It's already going on. Maybe, who knows?
There's all kinds of stuffs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but do you think, like, so have you ever had, like, during meditation or otherwise, like, sort of like DMT like experiences? Because your brain will make that itself, right? It can
Yes.
make that. So
I
have
have
you?
tried every substance under the sun,
Okay.
and nothing has come close to the experience I've had through meditation.
Really?
Yep, absolutely. No questions about it.
Wow.
So everything, your body is basically producing all these chemicals all the time. That's how you are having all these experiences.
Oh, that's crazy.
But by taking outside substances, you are just losing control to something else, and your mind is not clear to begin with. Like, for example, DMT is showing you something beyond your five senses. Okay, but if your mind is not completely clear, which is what you are trying to achieve through meditation,
Okay.
then when you finally ingest that substance, when you are getting that vision, right, your mind is the lens through which you are seeing it.
Yes.
Like, I keep giving this example, somebody who thinks about Jesus all the time, when finally that substance is giving you some kind of vision, you will see Jesus,
Right.
because your mind is already preoccupied with Jesus.
Right.
Somebody else who thinks about Shiva all the time, he will end up seeing Shiva. It's not a
Right.
religion dependent thing either.
Right.
If you are somebody who believes in conspiracy theories and alien abduction, guess what you'll see?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But the truth has to be independent, regardless of what you think, what your mind is showing you. So to get there, you need meditation.
Yeah, but I mean, so for instance, my experience when I meditate, I can just feel energy. It's nothing. There's no thought. I just feel energy coursing through from my crown, especially down, and it's more of like a rate of speed. So it just feels like energy is running through my body. I don't really have any like filtering effects from it.
Right.
So how am I supposed to like get my mind to be like, that's what's happening? Is my mind like, I'm not involved? Like, that's what's happening? Is my mind like, I'm not involved though? Do you know what I mean?
He is going through one of the phases through meditation. There is an ultimate end, so you have to keep doing it.
keep doing it. Just keep going.
No,
Okay.
no,
One time I
because
almost
at
thought I
the
went
end,
crazy and I got freaked out and I was like, no thanks. And I like woke myself up. I don't know, because it got a bit too much. I got
no,
scared,
no.
I think.
As
But
long as you're not near a power source somewhere which is giving you that current, you're all safe.
well, I mean, it was more feeling like I was going to go insane, like more kind of a realization of like, oh, holy goodness, like, just maybe the connectedness of it all and like feeling like you were everything, like that was a little bit much for me. And so I was like, whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot. And so I wasn't ready, or I had a little smidgen of that and I was like, ooh, I don't know. So, yeah, anyway. But yeah, so just keep doing it, and then there's the point where you're saying like
There is no end to, like, like, okay, I meditated this much, I reached here, now I stop. Even the enlightened
right,
people, they make it a practice of meditating every day, because
right.
losing control of your mind and your subconsciousness, it takes an instance, so you have to like keep doing it, keep taking charge of the whole thing, and that's how you maintain the
When you say keep
control.
taking charge, what do you mean by that? Because are you taking charge of your meditation? Like, what do you mean by that?
Your own mind and your subconsciousness. By taking charge, you are telling the mind to think what, instead of the mind telling you, this is what I want to think.
Yeah, I let it go. I don't take
No, that's
charge.
okay. Letting go brings you to a neutral point from where you can start taking charge. So in the beginning,
Yeah,
yes, you have to let go,
yeah.
because if you hold on to it, it literally is your thoughts telling you to hold on to it. You're supposed to
Right,
let go
exactly,
completely. Yes, I
exactly.
completely agree. Yeah. But
Yeah,
after letting go, it's like, say you want to pour juice into a glass, right? And
right.
the glass is full of dirty water already. The more juice you put in, it's just more dirty water, right? So to pour juice into the glass, you have to first throw out the dirty water, make the glass clean, and then now you can start pouring some good shit into it.
Okay, but are those like that's when you're talking about like manicuring your thoughts and like, oh, I actually don't want that one, and dismissing it and creating like putting instructively whatever thoughts you actually do want there.
Yes. And
That's a
those thoughts eventually will become patterns, and those
right.
patterns will eventually become your behavior, and those behaviors will eventually become your personality. So it all starts with the thought.
Yeah, that's annoying because so I actually went because of this kind. I had deep, like I was consciously doing a lot of that, and I manifested a lot of crazy things that are undeniable. And then what happened is because I manifested quite quickly, I was also manifesting almost too fast sometimes, and I would I got myself into a little bit of interesting places, and I was like, oh no, because there were deeper things, that were coming up to be seen. And I was like, oh, I got that. So I went to school for hypnotherapy for like a year or something like that, because I was like, there's stuff I got to clean out, right? So that was my whole point of doing that. But even going to school, and I did have a good process, and I had corroborative effects with people in the classroom. That was really cool. But still, yet when I went home, like I still have those stupid, like those family like deep tapes. And so I try to get away from them, but sometimes the only way I can get away from them is to almost cut my family off, which I don't know if that's a good idea, but I mean, it's better for me, to be honest with you. But I don't want that to be the case. I don't know if that's balanced to do that, even though it's better for me. But do you know what I mean?
You are actually describing exactly what I meant when I said disassociate. You're living with them, but they're not affecting you in any way. You're doing
But
your
I
duty
don't
to
want
your
them to. I
family.
don't want them to have access to me though, because I cannot. It's not where I want to be whenever they do talk to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, in this scenario, obviously you have to like cut off access. Absolutely.
Better for me.
No, of course,
I wish it
100%.
wasn't. I wish it wasn't, but it is. Like, and I don't know if that's my own self-reflection for some reason. Do you know what I mean? So, but I mean, and the whole point is, even if it is, it is. I just have to do it anyways. But
Yeah.
but that's what I'm talking about is when you're talking about clearing out the stuff. I'm like, bro, I have been clearing out stuff for freaking ever, and it's coming back. Like, why? Why can I not just? Why can I? Why can it stop going away?
Eventually you have to, like, if this keeps happening, see, I have noted this, the more you try to take charge, the more it will throw shit at you. It's almost like the universe is testing you.
Yeah.
Religions try to explain this in a different way. I don't like that explanation, but this is what is happening. Your mind is testing you. It's like, okay, is this guy wants to take charge? Is he ready for it? Does he deserve it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that test will happen. At that point, the only thing you can do is become the eye of the storm,
Right.
and ride it away, let it pass.
Right. I understand. Okay, I'll let you go to the next person. Thank you.
And no problem. You had some really good questions. If you feel like coming back, feel free. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
no problem. Okay, maybe 1 2 more guests and I'm done. It took way longer than. Kalkiji, are you requesting? Please come back because I saw your request. Is it still up? Kalkiji, can you hear me? Hola, hermanos. Parabrahman does not mean above Brahman. There is nothing separate from Brahman. Brahman has different levels, right? There is Atma Brahman, there is Parabrahman, there is um, Paramatman. These are all different names of the same thing. Your levels of perception can change here. Like Brahman, just the word when you say Brahman, it means consciousness. And within consciousness, the first instance of consciousness is Atman. And Atman eventually becomes the five senses and the mind that you have, which is how you have the perception of this reality. First, prove that Brahma is real. Yes, you perceive consciousness, right? That's what Brahma is. What happened, Kalki bhai? Anyways, it's been long enough. If there is no other guest, then I'll leave then. Does anybody have any questions? Brahma is not energy. Brahma is consciousness. Shakti is energy. Brahma is beyond the concept of energy or anything material. It's pure consciousness, sitting as pure possibility. Sorry. You're talking about Brahma. Okay. No, I'm talking about Brahman or Brahman, however you want to pronounce it. Aham Brahmasmi. How can you believe in a statue when, like look at the conversation we had and we came back to statues. This is why cube worship and wood worship is going out of the window.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I have a question. I always wanted to know this. Like, I'm born a Hindu, right?
No, you're not.
Why not?
Prove to me that you're born a Hindu.
What do you want? I mean, let me finish. Hold on. Just give me a chance to finish.
No. You said it purposely, so it means you're a troll.
Yeah, hold on. No, I'm not a troll. I have an actual question for you.
Go straight to your question. I don't need a preface for the question.
Okay. I believe religion divides people.
Wait. When you say I believe, that's not a question. I don't care about your beliefs. What is
Okay,
your question?
do you think religion divides people?
Religion is nonsense. It does not create any value in human society. And division is the first thing religion does.
Okay. Well, I think religion is to control people. Like the religion of Muslim, it controls a lot of people. Correct or not correct?
What is your question, bro? Go straight to your question.
Why so? We're having a debate. Why are you so rude, man?
We are having a debate.
Why are you so rude?
We are having a debate.
Yeah,
You know how debates work.
You're
You know how
becoming like
debates
a
work.
Muslim,
The first
right?
thing
You're
that
becoming
happens.
you're
The
becoming
first thing
like a
that
Muslim,
happens.
trying to say Hindu is better than any other.
Waste of time. The way debates work is like the person comes in and says, okay, we are going to debate and this is the topic. And you decide, okay, this topic, how we are going to come to a conclusion. Ground rules are set and that's how debates happen. Hey Pia, what's up?
So like the different names describing Brahma,
I
Is
can't hear you, bro.
does the different names, like the different types of Brahma, I'm trying to describe the different types of noise or different. I know it's different types of Brahma, but does it relate to
No,
like
no, no. Wait. You're talking about Brahma or Brahman? Two different things. Are you
Brahan
talking about consciousness or are you talking about beginnings?
consciousness.
So there are not different types of consciousness. From our perspective, they look different. It's different levels of perception. Do you understand what I mean? Like, for example, if you are a wave in the ocean, right? You cannot see the entire ocean in one go. From your perspective, you will see a bigger wave which you are a part of. And that bigger wave sees an even bigger wave. So
Yes,
from your perspective, you will see that okay, this is the bigger wave and I'm a part of that. But that bigger wave is still a part of the ocean. So from your perspective, you think there are different levels of the Brahman, but Brahman itself does not have level, it's just Brahman. So when you say Para Brahman, when you say Atma Brahman, you're actually talking about the same thing. It's not two different Brahmans.
I kind of different perspective.
Yes. From your perspective, it looks different because you don't have the full picture, right? Because you are just a tiny wave in the ocean. But from ocean's perspective, everything is ocean. Even the wave is ocean. Parabrahman does not mean beyond Brahman, no. There is nothing except Brahman. So how can something be beyond Brahman?
Hmm. Hmm.
And the
So I
highest realization that people have come to is that Atman is Brahman. So there's nothing called the Atman, there's nothing called the Brahman, there's no separation to begin with. No, I never said Brahman is a person. What are you talking about, bro?
Atman. So mm,
Yes, I am that got it. Absolutely. Brahman alone is real. We are appearing within Brahman to have this experience of being human. Do you have any other questions, Pia? If not, I think I'll close the live now.
um,
All right,
I don't.
brother. Then let's talk next time, yeah? Let me finish the live for today. Okay, everybody. So this is the end of the live. Thank you so much for coming. Remember, the Bangladeshi Hindus are still being persecuted, and Hindus themselves are not talking about it, which is very sad because every time you talk about them, it actually creates political pressure. You just might end up saving a life. So every Hindu, every human being should actually talk about them. Yeah, every day the news that is coming out is absolutely horrific, and the fact that as a human species we are completely neglecting that, it's very sad. So yes, we should all talk about the Bangladeshi Hindus. Also, I wrote a book which brings to light an extremely dark part of Hindu history. You can find that link in the bio if you want to buy it. And even if you don't buy the book, I request all the Hindus to talk about history. Because the education system was completely messed up. They gave us very skewed perspective of history, which is what the colonizers wanted us to, think and behave like. So, a very few Hindus are actually learning real history. They are bringing out all the hidden, what do you call it, perspectives of history, which was kind of actually hidden from us. So, support them. Sandeep Balakrishnan is amazing. Look at his work. He's brought so many facets of history that mainstream educational system never brought to us. We had no clue this was happening in India. And guess what? They did not just skew the perspective, they actually sold a lot of atrocities against the Hindus as some kind of a freedom struggle. It was not. It was an actual massacre of the Hindus. So, yes, through my book, I brought a small section of that history to light. If I get decent support, I'll write more books about hidden histories of India. So yeah, like I said, every Hindu should know these things. All right. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Ram Vande. Prem Sahitar ji, namaste. Ram Ram. I was just about to leave. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Ram Vande Mataram. Ram Ram.